In this video, we're going to teach you the 5 things we wish we had known when we got started backyard homesteading. Let's get into it.
That's not.
Is that how you roll?
See ya, Tootsie Roll. Yeah, Tootsie Roll. All right. Sorry.
Ready?
Yes.
Welcome back to MoonWood Homestead, where we help you become more self-sufficient one project at a time. Today, we're going to go over the 5 things we wish we had known when we got started backyard homesteading.
Yes.
We've been doing this now for just about 1 year and have gone through a whole lot of ups and downs in the time that we've had together in our homestead. Number 1, proper expectations.
Yes, this is probably my most important tip to everybody, because there is a lot that can go into something like this, especially depending on how quickly you are trying to grow. So we are organic, all organic, and it is a lot of trial and error with all organic when it comes to, especially your first year with building soil and stuff. So the first proper expectation is don't expect much your first year, because you just don't know yet how things grow and all the variables that go into it. Grow with integrity as much as possible. Which brings us to number 2, start slow.
Start slow. Yes, start slow. I missed this entirely.
I think he got the memo to go as fast as possible.
It made sense.
It's like being on a roller coaster. It was awesome. It was great.
But seriously, start slow. Start with just your soil. Get that going and take the time to do that. That's going to take a year in itself just to get good, beautiful soil. But it's really going to be beneficial long term for everything. And then it's also going to help you stay sane while you're trying to do this. And I know that I joked that I lost my mind in doing the homestead, but I really did. I burned out about a good 6 months, 8 months into it. And it took me a long time to recover and find back the pleasure and enjoyment that I was having doing this, because I felt like I had to get to the goal. And I was already doing the goal, and I didn't really recognize that up front. So starting slow and enjoying the journey and the path that you're doing, just by watching this video and getting involved in your outside space and just enjoying the bit of nature that you can build for yourself, is incredibly important. Number 3, community. Yeah. This has been probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest help for me, and something that I hope all of you can get when you get started. It was really difficult not knowing what to do. This was all foreign to me specifically a year ago. So coming into this was really heavy, and learning how to build garden beds and learning how to do worm bins and all of that. That's how I got started. And all I had was YouTube at the time, which obviously so do you. But hopefully you recognize that you have Facebook groups. You can use meetup.com. You can use Instagram. I mean, there's all sorts of social media platforms that can help you get involved in your local community. So a lot of really motivational stuff that kept me focused, felt like I had resources to connect with, and just help me through all of the things, like everything in general.
Good already.
Number 4. Number 4. Number 4
is planning properly.
Planning. All the planning.
Yes. I think it's really important to understand each plant individually to set it up for the best success possible. So researching each plant. Researching it would include information such as, is it appropriate for the grow zone you're in? We are in 910.
9B.
9B, so that's 910 to me.
Which you can find online. I'll leave a link for a grow zone map. So if you don't know what that is, leave a question about it in the comment section below, and I will do my best to help you.
Yes. So understanding if it fits into your zone or your location, understanding if you are growing from seed specifically, do you plant it, direct sow it into the ground, or do you begin it inside of a tray and do a seed start in a tray? Understanding the type of sun it needs. So is it going to be morning sun? How many hours of sun does it need? So that way you can actually plan in your yard by measuring the amount of sun certain parts of your yard gets.
Yeah, we found this to be really incredibly helpful over time of trying to measure, like, we have morning sun coming from the east over here, and that means that I'm gonna have all of these plants here looking beautiful. But if I have stuff in my front yard, it is only going to get anything from like 2 o'clock onwards. So that's really late afternoon sun and a lot heavier. So what plants can do well in that? So knowing that is huge. So before you start, take a measurement of like, all right, how far past my fence line before my plants actually get sun, because just because it's coming from this side, it'll be 11 or 12 o'clock before these smaller plants get any sun at all, which means it's going to be harder for them to grow over here. So you want to know those types of things. You also want to know spacing. So how much can I actually plant in this bed? This is really important. Everything grows differently, different heights, different widths. They just may need more space than others. So you want to know that. You also want to know companion or enemy style planting. So companion planting is planting
Enemy style.
Companion planting is very simplistically done. We'll do another video on this maybe at some other point. But companion planting is planting specific plants that also work well with other plants to keep bugs and other things like that away, or improve the health of that plant. So as an example, we have dillweed and marigolds and green onions growing in the same spot as our cabbages and radishes and things like that, because they work well together. So knowing that, or vice versa, plants that don't work well with that is really, really helpful and important. So doing that research ahead of time and having that plan in place before you put anything in the ground is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache.
Exactly what he said.
All the things. I'm always right.
Okay.
So if you're finding this to be really helpful, leave a like on the video, and if you have any tips or any other pieces and parts that you've experienced while you're homesteading, leave that in the comment section down below, because we'd love more information to be able to provide to all of the viewers that could help them get started with their homesteading project of their own. We'd also love for you guys to subscribe to the channel if you like all the things we're doing here at MoonWood and want to be here along for all of our other adventures with me, Christina, Daisy, and Fondly.
Yes.
So that leads us to number 5.
Number 5, properly tracking everything. My handy dandy list.
She needed a list. She felt really
I
passionate.
have a lot of things that you should track. I have a lot of things.
She does.
For success. What time of year did you plant it? I think is really important.
This is really important, especially for us here. If you can tell, we have a large structure now on the back end of our property, which means as the sun changes positions over the course of the year, the sun that I get here right now over this part of the yard, I get all of the beds once the sun's up over this tree in the back. Once it gets further along in the year, these back 2 beds won't have sun any later than likely 11 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon at that point, which is really important. If I know that I need something with all day sun, it's probably not the best space for it, given that information. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't do anything for a solid year before you put anything in the ground. It just simply means that all of this information is going to be incredibly helpful for you, so take it into consideration. If you know that the sun exposure is going to go down over time, make sure that you've got that built into your plan ahead of time.
Let me see what else I have on my handy dandy list. Water. How often are you watering? Is it enough water? I planted a sugar snap peas, and this was right when we got our dripper system. I was watering way too much. Where last summer we were watering way too little. And so tracking all of that helps you understand, again, the variables to help your plants succeed as much as possible. Other thing is pest control. How often are you spraying? What types of, where are the pests showing up? What plants are they attracted to? And keeping your eye on that, which is a daily maintenance aspect. Is not necessarily spraying daily, but going out and looking and checking on your plants daily so you can notice any minor changes in them to get ahead of the problem, because before you know, you could wake up one day and your entire plant is infested with aphids, for example, or your entire plant just got eaten by a caterpillar and it was perfectly fine yesterday.
I've been abandoned because Christina has to work now, part of the work from home life. But we wanted to share one last 6th tip with you, and that's absolutely how much fun we have had. We had no idea how amazing this would be when we got started or where we'd get to, in just a year's time. But this has been the most incredible journey for us and our little pet family and our friends and stuff that have followed us along on this journey to get to this point. So we really do truly hope that you enjoy yourselves as much as we have. If you guys have liked everything you've seen, leave a like and a comment in the section down below. If you have any questions, we'd love to help you out any way we can. From all of us here at MoonWood, we hope that you've enjoyed yourself, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.